Welcome to Design Your Life in Business, the podcast for leaders by BrightMind Consulting Group. We give you the necessary tools to help you become the architect of not just your business, but your life too. I'm your host, Jevon Wooden. Hey, Tad, how's it going?
Going good, Jevon. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Excited to have you on here at Design Your Life in Business, where we are helping leaders and entrepreneurs design the life and business they don't need a vacation from. So first question I have for you, Tad, is who are you?
Well, my name's Tad Horsley. I've been in Texas now for almost 20 years. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Air Force. I've been in business for almost 14 years now. We're a full-service electrical contractor. We also sell whole home generators. We do a wide range of projects like new construction, electrical service, installation of generators, repair of generators. We do quite a bit. Been doing this a long time, very open and honest with not only our employees, but our customers. We try to bring value, and being that Houston is such a huge market, very saturated, there's a lot of companies that shouldn't be really in this business. We're trying to bring in honesty and trustworthiness. There are some great companies in this market, and I'm just trying to be one of them and just take care of our customers at affordable pricing.
Absolutely. And that's one of the first things I noticed about you was that honesty, that transparency, and you really instill the values. You embody all the values that people expect from a military or a veteran. Right. You're very honest. You have a great work ethic, and you really built this from the ground up. Tell us a little bit about how you gained that. You mentioned you were a veteran in the Air Force. Tell us a bit about what you did in the Air Force and how that has resonated and impacted what you do today in your business.
Well, one of the biggest things I got out of being in the Air Force was everybody was treated the same. It didn't matter, where you came from, what your history was. Once you put on the uniform, you were all the same. And that was something I really took from that. It didn't matter, male, female, color, religion, none of that mattered. It just mattered, here's the job that needs to be done, just do it. And like I said, there was a set of rules that everybody applied to. So I got a lot out of that. So I hope I treat my employees the same way. Their personal stuff doesn't matter. Just if you do your job right, hopefully I treat you no matter who you are. So I got a lot of integrity from that. That taught me integrity and valuing people and task-oriented people. In the Air Force, I did avionics and guidance and control systems on the SR-71, which was a spy plane. It's retired now. It's the world's fastest, highest flying plane ever recorded. Wow. So it came with a lot of prestige. It was a lot of fun to work on. Got to see it fly all the time. It was pretty cool.
You don't hear that every day. So how did that translate into you coming in and starting an electrical company and a generator service?
Well, I've been in electrical since I was 16. I started building control panels for GM. I grew up in Michigan. And so I started doing electrical work there. I've done every phase of electrical work. I've been in the union. I've done commercial, industrial. So when I moved down into the Houston market, I started off doing residential homes. I was very good at it. I was pretty much doing it by myself and just went from there. And then, obviously with my experience being so vast, I was able to get other jobs, commercial jobs. We've done custom lighting for a lot of churches, stage lighting. We do a wide range of things, and we don't just focus just on generators or just electrical service. We do a little bit of everything, which I feel gives us better electricians because I get more experience. Mm-hmm. It's more exciting because you don't get bored doing the same thing every day. So it's fun. And I think the people that work here appreciate all that. I know the electricians do. They enjoy it because they never know what they're going to end up doing. And Absolutely. So they really get to see new things and learn. Experience is the best teacher. So
100%. And you mentioned that you've been in business for about 14 years or so. With that comes a lot of obstacles and tribulations, especially in a market like Houston that has, it's always constantly changing. So how do you address those obstacles as they come?
Well, research. I have a lot of good friends that, own their own businesses. Again, I've got a lot of experience myself, but I reach out to people and ask. Like 5 years ago, we changed the name to US Power Pros, over the top lighting and electric, because we were trying to get the trademark, because we were looking to go national. There was another company out of Las Vegas. They had the same name we did at the time, so I couldn't register for the trademark. So we had to change the name. That was an obstacle that I wasn't planning on. Again, I lean out of a lot of people, and your network, you're so vast in your network that you guys have, and I've been learning that over this last year since we've been talking. And just ask questions. If I don't know, I call people that've been through it, been in the business longer, and ask them, how do you deal with this? Because construction's pretty up and down. Good thing we live in Texas, because it's the #1 state in the country. But you do go through slow periods, and you have to learn how to adjust to that and plan for that. Material prices fluctuate all the time. And sometimes you just got to eat it, because you can't really raise your prices, because you got to be competitive. But employees are probably the #1 obstacle you run across, finding good employees. One of the things I've learned from my military experience and my experience at the post office when I worked there is training. And my general manager, Emily, we're putting a training program together, some different courses I've taken over the years to help teach people to be not only a better person, but to be better managers, and try to promote from within. Training is huge. You can't do enough training.
Yeah, and that's something we actually don't talk a lot about on this podcast, is the importance of that training. So when you said that is something that you invest heavily in, which I've seen firsthand, how do you decide what training each person needs? Is it more customized, or is it like, do you just take an approach where, hey, you select what training you need as far as the employees go?
Well, it's a little bit of both. One of the things I got Emily working on, I took a class when I was in the post office. I've actually taken it twice. And I think that it was called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm trying to implement that as a general class. And then it depends on the skill set of what job I'm asking them to do. Like, some of the people need computer skills. Some people need communication skills. I'm pretty fortunate with the people that are here, because they learn really quick, and it's really minimal training. But what's most important for me is customer communication, and and it's my job that everybody here should know that we're in the customer service business. Electrical and generators may be the product of that, but we're the customer service business. And I think just being an example of that, and then talking about that all the time, I've seen some of the people here attitude change, and they're starting to buy into that and believe that that's who they are. When you talk to a customer on the phone, you're a salesperson at that time. I know you might be doing trying to get a generator repaired or whatever, but you're really being a salesperson for the company, and just getting them to understand that every time they deal with a customer, that's who they are.
Yeah, and one of the things I've seen is that is embodied by just about everyone in your staff that I've interacted with. Anytime they pick up the phone and I speak with them, you can hear them smiling, you can hear the voice. So how do you go through the process of hiring? Because that is something that I think virtually every business struggles with. But it seems like you've detected a way to get it right.
Well, that's I've just been lucky. I pretty much hire anybody and try them and give them a chance, because through the interview process, people exaggerate. I look for people that enjoy people, and that does come out through the interview. You can tell if they like people in general, because if you're going to be in a customer service business, you have to like people. Doesn't mean you like the problems, but you got to like people. And so, yeah, I trial and error. I just hire. If I get a feeling through the interview process that they like people, they like talking, and then I just hire them. As far as electricians go, I just put them in the field and see how their work is, their work ethic, because that's something you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. Find out really quick if people want to work or not.
I love that method, because so many business owners and leaders are really afraid to try people out. So that is where does that moxie to do that come from?
Just being in business a long time. I used to have tests. I used to have all these different things I did from companies I worked for before to try to evaluate people. And you really can't go off of that stuff, in my opinion. Some people just aren't good at taking tests. Some people get nervous during the interview process and it doesn't show who they are. I find you just get them in here, and one thing I think we try very hard about is creating a very relaxed atmosphere to let people be themselves. And that just makes them more calm and comfortable, and gives them that environment they feel safe. I think that's very important, that they don't have to worry about anybody walking around getting mad at them, yelling at them. We try not to do that around here. I would rather build somebody up and have them succeed than fire them and have them fail. And I've learned that, again, over the years. That wasn't always that way.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's hard to be that way, especially in a competitive environment that you're in, right? Because you need to get things done. But one of the things that shines through because you do that is I hear them on the phone laughing and joking, but when it comes time to that business, they're all about it. But one thing that
go ahead, Jevon. I really give glory to God for all of it. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And that. Just the love that he gives all of us. I just try to be pass through and pass it on to others. And that's, the golden rule: treat others like you want to be treated.
Absolutely. You embody that. Now, one thing you mentioned earlier was the competition. And, I really feel like what stands out is the personality and the personable nature that everyone in your company embodies. So tell us how do you do that? How do you compete with these larger companies that, everyone knows, in the generator space, in the electrician space? What really do you feel like is your differentiating factor?
The golden rule, everybody says, put the customer first, or making money first. That's, everybody, we got to make money. We got to make money. I really try to put the employees first, because if I take care of the employees first, they will not only enjoy their job, they'll take care of the customer. Because that really, the customer is the most important, because they're the ones that spend the money. But if the customer feels important and that we're going to be here for them, my competitors don't matter.
Absolutely.
And pricing doesn't come to that big deal. We might be lower. Usually we are lower, but not always. But if the customer feels and knows that you're going to stand behind what you say and be there for them when they need you, competition doesn't matter. If you can take care of your customers, the money will come.
I love that, man. That is something like so many people needed to hear that. The customers will come because you take care of your people. That is people centric. I really feel like just knowing you, that's really the differentiating factor. So Tad, I'm going to ask you this, and you can take it wherever you want. If you could travel back in time, what advice would you give yourself back when you started US Power Pros?
Be more patient. Be more patient with not only people, with processes. Again, focus more on the employees, not so much trying to make money. That stuff will be there if you take care of your customers. That money will come. You'll make money. You'll be profitable. But it really, I'm only as good as the people around me. I can't do it all. So I've learned the value of having everybody, all the way from the guy that just got hired in to guys that have been here 10 years. They're such a huge part of everything. And I would be more patient with employees. And like I said, I've learned that. It didn't used to be that way.
Absolutely.
I've gone through a lot over the years. So
awesome, man. Well, we appreciate that candor. So we're going to move to our by design segment, where I ask every guest the same 3 questions. You ready, Tad?
Sure.
Awesome. So what has been the hardest part about designing a life and business you don't need a vacation from?
Employees, enjoy it. Have fun. Just have fun. Enjoy coming to work every day. This ain't a job to me. This is fun. And I love my customers. My customers call me on my cell phone anytime they need to or want to. I talk to them. It's fun. This is enjoyment for me. It's not a job. I'm so blessed that I get to do this.
I love that, man. Second question is, what is the best lesson you've learned along your journey?
God first, wholeheartedly. Separate yourself from your job, which is hard to do when you own it, because it's 24/7, you live it, but you do need time away. You need time for your hobbies, or especially your family. Family's important. It keeps you grounded. My involvement with church is important to me. But you do need that time to get away from the office. And since I've hired my general manager and restructured the company, that was probably one of the greatest things I've ever done, because now I can get away. Where before I had to be here all the time, and now I don't have to. That's been huge for just my sanity.
Absolutely. That delegation is important. That is one of the hardest things for all business owners, I'm sure.
It was very hard. It took me a long time to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Number 3 is, what are 3 tools or tips you'd recommend for our listeners to help design a life and business they don't need a vacation?
Create a family and friend environment at work. I mean, you got to have some of that separation. You can't be hanging out together all the time, but the environment at the office has to be very place you want to be, a place you want to go to. And that starts with you, and you have to create that environment. You can't expect other people to do it. It starts at the top. The attitude of your company, the attitude of, the work ethic, all of that starts with you. And if you would be an example, it will follow through. It'll flow down to everybody. And being honest, and not try to take advantage of your employees or your customers. Just be honest with them, tell them your expectations. And then even I have some of my employees will give me their expectations of me. This is what I need from you. And that holds me accountable. I've never had that before. And that was something kind of new when a couple employees, well, this is what I need from you. And I'm like, what do you mean you need from me? I signed your paycheck. What else do you need? So it held me accountable. And that was a big learning thing too.
Now that's huge, to have accountability go both ways. I love that. You're dropping all the gems, Tad. So, well, I'm sure the listeners really enjoyed this conversation. Tad, how can they connect with you?
Go to uspowerpros.com, 281-789-4192. Those are the 2 best ways to get a hold of us.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Tad. We appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. Listeners, make sure you go back and catch all of Tad's gems. Be sure to connect with him, especially if you're in the Houston area. And we'll see you all soon. Remember to keep ascending. Design Your Life and Business, the podcast for leaders, is brought to you by BrightMind Consulting Group. To find out more about BrightMind Consulting Group and how you can become the best leader possible, visit brightmindconsultinggroup.com. Make sure you search for Design Your Life and Business on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Click subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at BrightMind Consulting Group, we cannot thank you enough for listening.